we are about to have an interesting conversation, and that has to do with narcotics. Last week was on road safety, but today is on narcotics, as we are about to enter the festive season and also all the celebrations, where you should be, where you should not be, what really the Narcotics Control Board, the Commission has been doing during this period, the year under review, how many cases they have at their outfit, how many arrests actually they have made, how many, say when it comes to the items, the drug, and all that they've been, you classify that they are narcotics and all that. You would want to have that information and that education here on a Breakfast Daily. In studio to help us understand and also bring the figures to you is the Principal Narcotics Control Officer, Francis PNCO Amaoh, who is the Acting Director of Public Affairs and International Relations. And welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And how are you doing?
I am blessed. Thank you.
Good. You're doing good.
Yeah.
The year under review. First of all, let me start with this. How many cases do you have at your outfit now?
Okay.
For this year?
Yeah, for this year. Thank you so much. And good morning to our viewers. When you come to the Narcotics Control Commission, we have cases, we have arrests. What it means is that sometimes you may have one case, but you could arrest maybe about 10 people in connection with just the one case. Wow. So when you talk about the cases, we have over 109 cases. But when it comes to arrest, meaning the people we arrested, people involved in the 109, we have about 163 people involved in the 109 cases that we have. And out of that, I can go further, out of that 109, we have close to 50 that has gone to court in different stages in the prosecution. So currently, different levels, different courts, we have close to about 50 cases that is currently pending. And hopefully, we hope that by next year, all these cases will be dealt with so that we can have our convictions and we can have those people that the courts will say that, yes, you can go home. You don't have any question to answer. But let me also go further and say that so far, we have about 5 convictions out of the cases that are currently in court. And those people are serving sentencing ranging from 6 years up to the maximum 15 years as we speak now.
Wow. So with this year, 2025, will you say there has been a decline or a surge?
Yes, I would say that when you look at the figures compared to last year, I would say that yes, the figures are declining. The figures are coming down because, like I said, that last year we had in excess of, in terms of arrest, we had less than the 100, and this year we have more. But what I need to clarify and I need to say is that we're having more figures in terms of the number of people arrested as compared to last year because there's been a lot of activities. When I say activities, there's been a lot of operations, there's been a lot of enforcement, and that has been as a result of our top management and our top directors now. We did not used to have a Deputy Director General in charge of enforcement. But as we speak, we have a Deputy Director General in charge of enforcement in a person of Lawyer Chumberima, who is doing extremely well in terms of operational activities. And therefore, we are arresting and we are engaging, making sure that people who are dealing, especially in drugs, trafficking or in sales, distribution, tentacles are on them. And therefore, we'll make sure that wherever they are, whoever they are, they are brought to book.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you spoke about operations.
Yes.
How do you conduct these operations? Where do you conduct them? And someone will ask, at what time do you conduct these
It
operations?
depends. They are all intelligence-led because you just don't get up and go for operations. It takes months, and sometimes, yeah, it could be years, because you could be trailing somebody, you could be investigating, you could be putting surveillance on somebody for sometimes maybe 3 years or even more, because what you want to do is that once you strike, you know that you're getting results, because what you don't want to do is to, excuse me to say, waste resources. And therefore, before we embark on any operation, it is intelligence-led. We do a lot of surveillance, and then it depends on who is involved. It depends on where we want to conduct that operation. But once we're talking about operations, let me also give you this interesting statistics. From maybe say from March till now, we've conducted more than 11 swoops, which in our dealings in recent times, it is a good number, because, like I said, it takes time for you to conduct your investigations, and once you do that, you need to gather your operational plan. You need to put resources together. You need to put men together so that you conduct that swoop. So for us to have done that, then one will say that yes, we're doing really well. And this year we've conducted swoops in Fadama. We've also done some in Western region, Efiekuma. We've also done at Impoku. We've done in part of Ashanti region. So it depends on where we're getting intelligence and what kind of intelligence we're getting. And if it is something that after surveillance and after everything, you know that yes, we can strike, we'll go ahead and we do it.
Wow. So if you are embarking on these troops, how is the operation like? Which agencies do you go with?
No, it depends. Like I said, it depends on what kind we're doing. We have our own established tactical units, deployment units at the HQ, and therefore we use them. They're professional, they are trained, and they can do the job. They understand, in terms of when it comes to narcotics operation, they understand it well. But having said that, let me also say that it depends on the type of operation we want to conduct, and therefore sometimes we would involve all other security agencies, be it the military, the police, and also the NIB, National Security. So it depends on what kind of operations we want to embark on. It depends on who is involved. It depends on what is the magnitude of what we want to conduct. Then that will determine whether people we have in terms of the tactical deployment people, if they can handle that. If they can, and most often than not, they're capable, and therefore they do that. But where there is a need to sort of work together, collaborate with other sister agencies, we do that.
So with these swoops you embark on, let's look at the numbers. Do you arrest more men or more women?
Obviously, it's more men. Highly, would you go on a swoop and you arrest more women than men? Most often than not is men. But we do get other women as well. Like I told you off air, we do a lot of investigations, and most of them is intelligence-led. And once we arrested you, Philip will not be arrested. For say if Philip is arrested and Philip comes to our office, obviously information and interrogation can lead that there is a QR somewhere or there is an IFWA somewhere who is involved, and therefore we'll go and pick IFWA. So it depends on who is involved. And one of the things that we also need to understand is that in this drug business, there's a lot of what we call linkages. There's a lot of connections, a lot of people. It can never be a one-man business. It's never a one-man business. It can never be. because there are a lot of linkages, there are a lot of connections, there are a lot of people involved, and therefore once you arrest one person, and depending on the kind of investigations you're doing and your intelligence you're getting, it can lead to a lot of different people being arrested.
What will you term as an illicit drug or a narcotic substance?
Good.
And maybe someone is watching, the person do not know that if this is found in my car or in my home, I'll be termed to be part of,
Yep.
or to be having a narcotic substance or an illicit drug in my possession.
Yes, thank you, Philip. I think it's very important question. When we talk about narcotic drugs, when you look at the UN schedule, the UN has a way of classifying what a narcotic drug is. Generally, a narcotic drug is a banned substance. Is substances that are against the law, and therefore when it is found in your possession, you're going against the law. But the UN have a schedule. When you go to their schedule, when you go to their tables, they have listed drugs that are controlled drugs and drugs that are illicit. When we say something is illicit, is illegal, and therefore it is against the law. And some of these drugs that we're talking about, you know the common ones. You have cocaine, which normally it is imported from Southern American countries. We have the heroin, which is from East Asia, Afghanistan, and those places. And we also have what we locally grow, which is the cannabis, weed, or a lot of people have different names for it because it's local. And we also have the synthetics. The synthetics are those ones that are put together using chemical substances and other things. You have the methamphetamine, you have the ecstasies, you have the tramadol. We don't really talk about tramadol because tramadol, by definition, it's not a narcotic drug. Tramadol is a pain reliever.
Before you mentioned the tramadol, you mentioned
methamphetamine.
Yeah. What is that one?
Methamphetamine is also, like I said, is a what do we call it? Is a crystallized kind of drug. It's more of, when you look at it, it looks like sugar.
Really?
Yes, it looks like that, but it is very, very addictive. And normally it is used, like I said, when you go to Asia and in Africa, South Africa, Nigeria.
But sometimes it finds itself here.
It does. We don't do, when I say we don't do cocaine here, we don't grow it. It's a plant. It's a natural plant. It cannot grow here. It cannot be grown here. It cannot do well here. But we get it. People, through all kinds of means, would want to import it, would want to bring it into our country and transport it to other places. So we do not manufacture that here, but people try and find all kinds of means to bring it into our country. And that is our job. Our job is to make sure that those people are dealt with by law. Those people are not allowed to trade because it is destructive, because it is illegal. And therefore, it is our job to make sure that we are manning the ports, the airports. Our airline says that, our act, not the airline, our act says that we should be present both entry and exit points in all of our country. And therefore, when you go to Kotoka International Airport, we're there. When you go to Tema, when you go to Takrady, all we are doing is to make sure that we block it. It doesn't come into our country. But when it does, the good thing is that when it does, we arrest it. And when it is arrested, people involved are prosecuted and dealt with.
So let's go to the other ones that you were mentioning. So after the one that is a methamphetamine?
Yeah, methamphetamine. That is what.
Methamphetamine.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
what I
Okay.
spoke
Okay.
about.
So let's go to the next one.
And we also have, like I said, ecstasy. Ecstasy is also another drug, even though it is not a big challenge in our part of the country, but it's also something that we deal with. It will interest you to note that people will try to find anything that would, one way or the other, give them a kind of a high. When I say a kind of a high, people use morphine.
Okay.
Is a pain reliever, like I said, but once they take it, there's a kind of euphoria, there's a kind of feeling they get, and therefore they get addicted to it. When you go to the hospitals, there are other drugs that are legally, they're supposed to be legally used. There are prescription drugs, but people get it and they use it and they get high one way or the other. And therefore, it is something that we're talking about. I mentioned the tramadol because tramadol
yeah.
is a prescription drug. Tramadol is used to treat pain.
Yeah.
But people, it also has that addictive nature. And people use it, and when they use it, they feel the high. And therefore, people can use more than the 100 milligram, which is the prescribed dosage. People use more than that. They use 200, 225, and all of that. At the end of the day, that is against the law. And therefore, when people use that, and especially the swoops that we spoke about, we do that sometimes with Food and Drugs Authority and also Pharmacy Council. And that one, we do it targeted, and those are with a pharmacist, because once we come to you or once we get the information that you're selling tramadol that is over the dosage, which is more than the permitted 100 milligram, then obviously you're going against the law, and therefore we come hard on those people. So these are all drugs, or they are all illicit drugs that people use. Some of them they use personally, and others they traffic in it, because most often than not, it's the trafficked ones that eventually people will get hooked to it and start using.
So you made mention of all these things: the heroin, the cannabis, the methamphetamine, the trauma, the cocaine, and all that. Which of them do you normally arrest people, or when you arrest people, is that they are in possession of this? Which of them?
Yeah, the traditional ones. When I say traditional ones, I mean the cocaine, and then heroin, and also the one which is locally produced, that is the weed or the cannabis. But the challenge we have now is more of the cannabis, because the cannabis, like I said, is locally grown. And when you look at parts of Africa, some countries like Morocco are doing it. It does well there. And we also know that in our country, it is something that is grown virtually everywhere. When you put it everywhere, it grows. And therefore, it is also something that we arrest a lot of people on. But you will say that those who are trafficking, either it is coming into our country or it's going, you will get the cannabis and you will get cocaine being the highest. Having said that, let me also say that nowadays we're also having challenges. I mentioned the tramadol. We're also having challenges with this prescribed drugs. That is the tramadol. The tramadol is something that the 225, which people will say Unim Red. And those things. Those are the things, the prescription drugs. Those are the things that now the youth, they're getting on. Because the thing is that there is the perception that if I go and I take cocaine, I'll be arrested. If I go and I take cannabis, I'll be arrested. And therefore, they think that, yeah, if I take more of these opiates, at the end of the day, it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of legal. But once you're taking more, you're getting addictive, it's becoming destructive. And it's something that on daily basis, every time we have the opportunity, we let the youth know that once you engage in that, it is addictive and it's destructive as well. It's destroying your future. It is destroying your life. And therefore, it is something that we encourage and we admonish that people should not get used to it. Because drugs are such that once you say that, let me go and try it, you can get hooked to it.
And that will be it.
That will be it. It changes everything for you. Maybe a brilliant student, you're doing well, you get into it, and now all your attention and all your motivation is to get drugs, is to get high. And therefore, you forget about any other thing that can make your future better. And you destroy it now. Wow. So it is something that we're engaging, we're talking about it, we're making a lot of noise about it. And 2026 will be an exciting year in a sense that we're going to intensify, especially our public education campaigns. Beautiful. And just this week, my Director General was engaging a group of NGOs into drugs. And he told them that he, as a Brigadier General and as the Director General of Narcotics Control Commission, he wants to personally get involved. And therefore, he will be going to secondary schools and be going to universities so that he can let people know how bad it is, especially the youth, how bad it is to get into especially usage of some of these hard drugs. We
also learned that the cannabis, some of the youth mix it with other things. If you want to educate the public briefly on that, maybe mixing it with shito, mixing it with kebab and all that. Educate us on that.
Yeah, thank you. And I think it's something that is also to do with the youth and also students, because most often than not, when you're seeing smoking, everybody would think that he's the bad guy. But if he's mixed it with his shito, or if he's done it in a form of a candy, or if he has it in any other form that is not easily identifiable, then you can say that, oh, he's good. But at the end of the day, he's actually using it. Because when it comes to some of these drugs, and especially weed, there are different forms that you can use. Some people can smoke it, some people can use it as tea. Yeah, as tea. Some people can mix it, like you're saying, with all these things. And the advice is that, fine, as we've all been students, that at a point in time you may run out of shito or any other thing. The advice is that be careful who you eat shito from, because you never know. So what we are saying is that when you're going to school, parents, let's try as much as we can to provide. And once you run out of it, let mommy or daddy know that I don't have this. And if you want to go to friends, you should know the people you will go to. They have to be trusted, because you do not know. And sometimes what happens is that you can take it for the first time and you get hooked on it. Yes, because the thing is that doctors and other people will tell you that we all have different body makeup. Yeah. What Philip will take and probably H, I may take it and not H. So people, sometimes some people will say that, oh, I've been smoking for the past 20 years and nothing has happened. Somebody gets into it 2 months, 3 months, and the person is off. So we do not need to experiment. We do not need to try and say that, oh, let me go and try it, because you never know. Your first try will be something that can hook you on for the rest of your life.
Let's talk about this before I speak about if our borders are porous, and that's the reason why we sometimes have people trafficking or bringing illicit drugs into the country. The issue with the legalization, people have said that, oh, we've heard it on the floor of Parliament. It was in the news that cannabis usage and all that. Educate us on that.
Thank you so much. I think it's something that we've been talking to people about, but every opportunity we get, it is important to clarify. I think when you look at the law says that the Minister of Interior would give people or would give people the permission to cultivate. And the cultivation here that we're talking about, it's cannabis with 0.3% of THC. And when you read the law, it says that when we talk about the cannabis, we're not talking about the recreational cannabis. Because the recreational cannabis is where you can have THC of 100 or more. And that is what, when you smoke or when you use, it can affect your brain. It can affect how you perform and other things. But this that we are talking about, others will say hemp, has a very minimal amount of THC in it. And that one is basically for industrial purposes and medicinal. And therefore, it is not the one. It is not the recreational one. So when people say that, oh, like you rightly said, it is now legalized, that people can smoke. No, it is still a criminal act if you smoke weed. It is still a criminal act. The only thing now that the Act 1019 has done is that it is now saying that somebody who is using drugs, don't see that person as somebody who is a deviant, but you see the person as somebody, is a public health issue. See the person as somebody who is not well and therefore will need help. So rather than saying that you're going to put the person into prison, is there something that you can do to help that person? So in the law says that if a user appear before a judge, the judge looking at the person together with a medical report that establishes that this person is a user, instead of putting the person into jail, rather recommend that a person should go for rehabilitation, rehab, so that that person can be rehabilitated and come back to society and be productive. But once you are trafficking in it, then you go against the law. Once you're caught, you will be dealt with. So coming back on that regulation to cultivate the cannabis, now the law has been passed. The LI has also been passed, and it was the fees and charges, but Parliament has dealt with the fees and charges. So now what we are waiting for is for it to come out, and once it comes out, then we'll make noise about it. We'll make it public. So people who are interested, who would want to go into the cannabis cultivation, will now apply. And once they apply, we do a lot of background check. We do a lot of what we call screening. We screen, and once you qualify, then obviously the Minister for Interior will grant you the permission to cultivate. So it is not going to be like now the law has been passed and therefore anybody can go into it. Just, yes, you can say that people who qualify, if you're a Ghanaian, if you are more than 18 years, you qualify to go there. But at the end of the day, there should be a threshold. There should be some criteria that you need to meet. You need to have your land. The land has to be registered. We do a background check. There are a whole lot of things that you would have to go through, and once you're successful, you're given the license. And even when the license is given, there is a monitoring team that will go about making sure that whatever license that you've been given, you will work according to that. And if you don't do that, you're going against the law, your license can be withdrawn. Let me quickly say that there are maybe about 10 or so different licensing that will be given. will be giving for cultivation, will be giving for transportation, will be giving for exports, will be giving for imports, will be giving for advertising, will be giving for research. So there are a whole lot of different kinds of licensing regime that we will have that people can apply for. And once you qualify, you'll be given so that you can work.
You spoke about rehab, and we've seen most people who, in a way, use these illicit drugs, so to speak, go off board. So they sometimes think in a particular way. Is it all drugs that will let you go? How is it like?
Yeah, doctors.
Because you know that someone will be smoking for the next minute.
Doctors would be able to tell us, but I don't think that everybody that we see that one way or another has a mental challenge is as a result of drugs. There could be other reasons, there could be other factors that will come together to make somebody have a mental challenge. But what we do know is that people, when they use it, like I said, and especially the youth, because research says that your brain is still developing until age 25 or thereabout. And therefore, if you start using these drugs at an early stage or at an early age, it will definitely has a problem with your developing mind. And therefore, we advise, especially the youth, that you do not need that. You can be successful. You can be like Philip without using drugs. You can concentrate on your books. You can concentrate on your giftings, your talents, your craft.
Yeah, very true.
In order to be good. So we encourage and we admonish that we should say no to drugs. And therefore, I'm pretty sure that we'll come to that during this festive periods, what people should do. And also the warning that we'll give to people who are doing some of these things, pubs, drinking sports, and places who will be engaging in selling some of these things.
Come to that.
We will definitely.
Are we losing most of the youth to drugs?
It's a big question. It's a big question. It's something that we have to continuously drum it to them to make sure that it is not profitable. We've established that if you continuously or if you get hooked to it, there's a possibility that you will lose your future. There's a possibility. And I wouldn't say that, yes, a lot of these youth are getting into it, and somebody will say that there could be reasons why they're doing the drugs. Sometimes unemployment, sometimes family issues, sometimes curiosity, and all of these things, sometimes peer pressure. All of these things can come on them and force them to go into it. So we wouldn't say that we're losing all of them to it, but we need to as a country, we need to make sure that we are providing opportunities for them so that they can be active. When you are actively engaged, I don't think that you will find time in doing some of these.
Is it a national security threat?
Definitely it is, because if you have more of your young people engaged in drug trafficking, engaged in the usage of that, they don't really, sometimes somebody will say that they don't really have anything to lose, and therefore they can be easily swayed, and they can be easily gotten themselves into some of these things that can cause problems for the country. And therefore, if we have a lot of the young people not properly engaged, not doing things, then obviously they will divert their attention to that side. And once they're engaging in that, whether they're using or trafficking, then it becomes a threat to society.
Wow. Do we have porous borders? For which reason some of the drugs you made mention of, illicit drugs, we are not supposed to see in this country, still find their way in here?
Yeah, we do. We do. When you talk to other security sister agencies, we do. When you go to all of these are borders, we have what we call the approved routes and we have unapproved routes. People will always create unapproved routes. When you go to Aflao, there are a lot of unapproved routes. When you go to Elibo, there are a lot of unapproved routes. Once you identify these unapproved routes, the next day it is created. And even that is our land borders. When you look at our coastal stretch, we have a very long coastal stretch. We are not able to patrol all of that. And therefore, and we know that what some of these guys would do is to use maybe a bigger ship. They drop it somewhere, and some of these local canoes will go and cut it. They will go and bring it. It's something that happens. But what we're doing at the Narcotics Control Commission is that with the new our bosses, what we are doing is that we're trying to zone our coastline. We're trying to zone it so that we'll be able to man it and man it well. It is not an easy thing. It is difficult. And when you say that you're going to man it and you're just going to only use a physical human being, it is going to be extremely difficult. So what we are doing, that once we're doing this demarcation, then we will see what kind of gadgets, what kind of technology that we will need in order to help us patrol and patrol it well. So I would admit that yes, our borders will have porous borders, land borders, and also, like I said, when you come to our coastlines, we're unable to man all of that. But as I said earlier, we also work together with other security agencies like the Navy, like the police, Marine. Once we have intelligence, once we know that there is this activity going on here, then together we work together to make sure that we deal with those incidents.
Now let's come to Christmas.
Yes.
We know this festive season, a lot of people will be going out to enjoy, a lot of people would be going out to make merry and all that. How's the plan from your end like to ensure that surveillance is intensified?
Yeah, we're doing it. And like I said, my Director General will say that our antenna is on you. We have our surveillance guys all over. And what we are saying is that, and we know, those pubs, those drinking spots, those places where they are selling, where they're conducting businesses, we are going to embark on serious swoops this Christmas to make sure that people do not take advantage of the festivities and do business. So it is a warning, let me put it that way. It is a warning that those people who are doing that, our eyes are on you. It is only a matter of time that we will come after you. Having said that, let me also say, especially to our drivers, because we know that sometimes, not all of them, but some of them will use some of these drugs and say that, oh, it makes me active, it makes me this, I can drive a long journey, I can go and I can come back, I can do this. All we are saying is that if you are a long distance driver, when you're driving and you're tired, please rest. Don't use any drugs and think that that can help you go. If you do that, obviously you're going to cause accidents. And we've also established that people who use, sometimes they smoke weed and other drugs, you get your perception is distorted. And sometimes when you're driving, your mind is not clear, your eyes are not clear, and therefore can cause a lot of accidents. So we're saying that let us have a drug-free festivities and make sure that wherever we go, whatever we see especially, like what the national security slogan some time ago, see something, say something. So once you know that there is an activity going on around your locality, you know a location where something is going on, inform us, see it, say it, so that action can be taken.
We've seen more, well, let me say, public or celebrities or people who publicly smoke and all that. Will you also say that if these individuals are seen, can be arrested?
It is illegal. It is illegal to smoke cannabis. It is in the law. It is illegal to smoke cannabis. And I think, I don't want to mention names here, but we've had engagements with some of them.
Really?
Yes, we do. We have engagements with some of them, and we've spoken to them that you pull crowd.
Yeah.
You have followers, as we call it. You have a lot, some of them millions of followers.
Yes.
And once they see you on stage doing that, then the communication is that it is tish, it is good, that you can go ahead and do it. You can go ahead and follow me. So we've had private conversations with some of them, and some of them have admitted that, yes, it wasn't a good example, and therefore, going forward, they will try and see how best they can manage that. Because it is not good. It is not a good example to set for people, especially young people, to follow. And these celebrities we're talking about, like I said, their followers, some of them may have adult followers, but most of them, about 80–90% of them are the youth. And therefore, whatever you do in public life, it would have influence on the younger generation. And therefore, we would encourage that they should be careful when they're performing, when they come on stage and they're doing their things. It's a craft they have. And therefore, they need to just do it, entertain people, and make sure that they are sending the right signals, not doing things that at the end of the day will lead the young people on a bad path.
So this Christmas, are you entering into events to take action? Or based on intelligence?
We will do that, but like I said, our work is intelligence based. Once we have the information, once we have the intel that, yes, Philip will come to me and say that, yes, I know a place in East Legon. Around this time, this day, this is what happens there. Yes, we would want to investigate. We would want to put surveillance. And once we get to know that, yes, this is what is actually going on, we will strike.
So is that to say that people who in their communities are having challenges with people, so to say, are using drugs, can report your
Definitely.
outfits? How do they get in touch?
We always say that. We always say that the issue of drug is, it is not only the issue for government. It's not only an issue for the Narcotics Control Commission. It is a shared responsibility. And when I say it is shared responsibility, in your locality, you've seen that people are engaging. And once people are engaging, then obviously, like you rightly said, it becomes a security threat. And therefore, you need to report. You need to make sure that you give that information either to the Narcotics Control Commission, which is the lead agency, or any other agency, security agency that you know that once you give that information to, they can work on it. They can make sure that something is done about it. And therefore, if you have any issue, if you have any challenge, you can either walk to the Narcotics Control Commission. It is good that now we are present at all the 16 regions, and we are opening district offices as well. And therefore, you can do that. You can also reach us. We have a toll-free number that at the end of going towards the end of the show, I'll put it. It is 0800 317 317. So it is a number that you can reach us on, and whatever information you give to us, it is secret to us. We treat it, your identity is not needed. Your identity will not be disclosed. All we need is to give us the information so that we can work on it.
Wow. The jail term. So one stands to get how many years?
When you traffic, when you're smoking, it says that you have a 5-year jail term. But like I said, with the coming into force of Act 1019, the first thing is that you're giving an opportunity to pay a fine, and if you're unable to pay the fine, then you go in. But if you're trafficking, then you could go in maximum 10-15 years.
Wow.
Yes, you can do
10-15 years.
Yes, you can do that. You can do that.
Wow, interesting. The conversation has been an interesting one, and
Yeah.
it's very enlightening that people would have to take good care of themselves during this festive season and have to be careful of the places they go to. But what will be your final words as we wrap up this interview?
No, I think my final word will be that the emphasis is on the youth. That those who are, especially who are using drugs, you're only doing that to destroy your future. The future, they say, is for the youth. But if we don't have youth that are adequately prepared in terms of skills, in terms of education, in terms of exposure, and all they are doing is engaging in drugs, then you can partly say that then the future is bleak. So we will tell the youth that smoking, doing anything drugs is not good. It is addictive. It can destroy you. It can destroy your family. It can destroy your community. And therefore we say that don't go close to it. Just say no to it. And those people who are trafficking, the message is that it's only a matter of time that our eyes are on you. We are watching you. It's only a matter of time that we will strike and we will get you. And like I said from the beginning, my boss, Director General, and his deputies, they will tell you that once you are arrested with drug-related issues and you come to the Narcotics Control Commission, it's only the law courts, or if you are lucky, it's only God that can save.
So you're watching?
Definitely. Our eyes are on everybody. And like I said, see something, say something. If you have any information, bring it out. Your identity will be protected, and we will deal with that information.
So you just have to be careful wherever you go this Christmas, and you have to be careful the kind of activities you engage in. He also made mention of the fact that if you are going to school, the parents monitor your children. The shito that they take in schools, you don't know what are in there. So the toll-free number is on the screen.
Yeah, the toll-free number, like I said, is 0800 307 307. 0800 307 307.
Yes. Yeah. So if in your neighborhood you have an issue like that, you'd want to call the toll-free number or visit their offices across the country and make that complaint and get issues resolved. Thank you so much, Principal Narcotic Control Officer Francis Obuku Amaoh. Thank you for your time, who is the Acting Director, Public Affairs and also International Relations. That has been an exciting conversation. I'm sure you've learned a lot. You can go into the cooler. Is how many years again?
Maximum you can get 15 years.
15 years. And your life is wasted. So please be careful out there as we all celebrate this Christmas. And 2026, like he indicated, is going to be intense. There's going to be education and all that. So you just have to be careful and move away from drugs. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel One TV. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we have more for you on the show.